This is Net News Network, and this is Headline News in 3 minutes. For Wednesday, December 28th, 2021. Dr. Anthony Fauci on Monday said he thought the U.S. should consider instituting a mandate that would require domestic air travelers to be vaccinated against COVID-19. He declined to say whether he had briefed President Biden on such a policy. However, he did say a vaccine requirement to board domestic flights is reasonable to consider. There's requirements whether you want to get into college or university, if you want to work at certain places. And if you make vaccinations a requirement, that's another incentive to get more people vaccinated, Fauci said. If you want to do that with domestic flights, I think that's something that should be considered. Of course, it's proven that the vaccine does not stop you from catching or spreading COVID, so I'm not entirely sure why this is a requirement for anything. The CDC is cutting isolation restrictions for Americans who test positive for coronavirus and shortening close contacts time to quarantine. People with the virus can leave isolation after 5 days. That's down from 10. People exposed to the virus can also leave quarantine after 5 days. Therefore, people who test positive should isolate for 5 days, and if asymptomatic at that time, they may leave isolation if they can continue to mask for 5 days to minimize the risk of infecting others. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention announced these changes on Monday. CDC officials said the guidance is in keeping with growing evidence that the coronavirus is most infectious 2 days before and 3 days after symptom onset. The decision was also influenced by a recent surge in COVID-19 cases. The new guidelines also updated its quarantine guidance for healthcare workers who no longer have to isolate for 10 days. The agency said fully vaccinated healthcare workers, including receiving a booster, do not need to quarantine after being exposed. Instead, they can return to work after 7 days if asymptomatic and test negative. Can you keep all this straight? It changes every day. 5 protesters were arrested in New York City Burger King Monday night after refusing to show proof of vaccination. The news says they stormed the building. The maskless protesters were filmed screaming at employees for refusing to serve them, and the cops were called after the group repeatedly refused to leave after being asked. Welcome to America, folks. Thank you for listening. For more, you can visit netnewsnetwork.net. Have a great day.